Hip-hop, jazz, reggae, all musical styles with an instantly recognisable visual style. But for years, Bhangra has been the poor relation, but not anymore. It's the sound of the rural Punjab and the soundtrack to Punjabi communities across the world. But now Bhangra is moving off the street and into the art gallery. This is the Soho Road to the Punjab exhibition, a celebration of all things Bhangra. The exhibition is touring throughout the UK this year, but at the moment it's an opportunity for the guys who made the music to look back at the good times and the bad shirts.
In it, we've got this silver uniform with a shiny glitter along it. And you know what happened? My wife washed it and I lost my glitter.
The funny thing was, like we used to buy the cheapest material that we can think of, but because we was wearing all the same, and it looked very, very impressive.
Presentation along with your performance is very important. People regard it as the best dressed band. You will see everybody is wearing, the coats or, wearing half sleeve jacket here.
But amidst all this nostalgia, there's a serious purpose, claiming Bhangra's rightful place alongside those other great genres. And what better place to start than with the record covers themselves? Now this may look like your mum and dad's old record collection, but apparently it's art. The music may not have crossed over into the mainstream that much, but at least the artwork is starting to make its mark. From shiny suits to cutting-edge graphic design, Bhangra sleeve art has come a long way, from the rural Punjab to an art gallery in fashionable East London. Well, I never thought my old Hero and art records would make it into a gallery, but an exhibition like this is a sign that at last there's a British Asian artistic heritage. The Art Vinyl Gallery in Hackney is playing host to an exhibition of Bhangra sleeve art. Owner and curator of the Art Vinyl Gallery is Andrew Heaps, a man who knows all about the importance of record covers.
I think sleeve art is essential in capturing your memories past, but also present. Walking into your favourite record shop and having that pleasure of actually taking something home. And what we've got here is we're celebrating the images, because when you buy a record, you don't just buy the record, you buy the artwork that's on it. So it's very important, and it's a snapshot of popular culture at that particular time and moment.
Instrumental in putting on this exhibition is long-time Bhangra promoter and founder of Punch Records, Amo Talwar. Now there's a visual aesthetic here.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's chaos. It's controlled, managed chaos. It's colourful. It's in your face. There's anger, there's frustration, and there's loneliness. For me, there's all the emotions that a human has, but done in the beautiful Bhangra Punjabi style that we're all part of. I think it's just straight up raw artwork. I mean, it's amazing. They've cut their faces out, and there is the design, there is the ethic, there is the aesthetic there. It's just quite raw and rough. And the thing was, Bhangra in those days was a bit quirky and a bit raw.
It's fair to say that Bhangra has sometimes been seen as the poor relation, style-wise, and to some extent you can see why. Those were some serious outfits. But according to Professor Rajinder Dadra of Manchester University, the sleeves are a visual history of Britain's Punjabi communities.
It's only now that you put them alongside each other that you get to see that there's an archive here. Then you start to see the story. You start to see the story of Punjabi folk music becoming British Bhangra through the arrival of migration and the migrants since the 70s, 80s and onwards. And you see that visually this is starting to be encoded on the album sleeves themselves. You could roughly characterise it in 4 phases. The first phase would be roughly the 60s and 70s, the immediate moment of arrival. So these were the record sleeves that were imported or brought along with the first early migrants. And these are the kind of Punjabi folk themed music. And again, you'd see images which are kind of hand-painted, referring the Punjab. Then the next phase would be the switch from the 70s to the 80s, the moment of arrival. So here we'd see men grouped together as bands, and sometimes the women, They'd be dressed in sometimes modern gear to say, hey, mum, dad, look, we're here, we're arrived, and we're also making music. Then in the 80s, the arrival of the bands and Bhangra in its heydays. So we had the band culture, references to Bollywood. So this is where all the shiny sequin tops come from, you know. And then by the 90s, then people who came out of the Bhangra industry, people like Bali Sagoo, who started to do fusion-based music and mixing, to full circle to Bollywood remix culture. So we get an amalgamation of Bollywood and Bhangra and post-90s, post-millennium sounds all coming together.
Pump up the Bhangra, pump up the Bhangra, pump up the Bhangra. Dance, dance.
In fact, the value of Bhangra is finally being recognised in the mainstream. Paul Bradshaw is editor of the influential Straight No Chaser magazine, where cool music meets cutting-edge design. You say that Bhangra now has a visual language all of its own, like jazz or hip-hop or any other genre?
I would definitely say so, yeah, because what's obviously started as a kind of do-it-yourself artwork, you know, we see a kind of evolution. I think if you're looking, you know, at all the sleeves on the wall, and you just take it in one go, I think what you get from it, first and foremost, is a real sense of drama.
Back in the day, if this was a Bhangra gig, I'd be drinking whiskey and then even more whiskey. But now I'm in a gallery, here at Alap or on the walls, and I'm sipping wine. I just think it's great that this visual history of ours is finally reaching a wider audience. What is Bhangra's visual language?
Bhangra's, I think it's about the identity, I mean, especially like the Rule Britannia album. That says it all. You know, you've got the orange, white and the green. You've got the man pointing his finger saying, yes, we're here, we're British and we're Asian. This is what we're all about.
So there you have it. Bhangra sleeve art's come of age at last and entered the artistic mainstream. Object the